watching your conference. I saw online that this was happening, and I thought, oh, these are my people. I got to come to this thing. But Dean says that I'm neither fish nor fowl. So, and I will explain that. Mike, can you get the basic blog up? I'm Katherine Schulten. I'm the editor of the New York Times Learning Network. And just out of curiosity, how many know what that is? Okay, thank you. Yay. Because I said to Dean, oh, I could talk about it for 10 hours or 10 minutes, whatever I've got. So it is the one thing that is outside the New York Times digital subscription service. So it is free. And every link we list, which is 25 to 50 a day, back into the Times is also free for students. I will say that most of who uses our site is sort of high school and maybe community college students. But we no longer level, meaning we no longer say this is for 9th grade, this is for 7th grade, because we find that my 9th grader is your 5th grader, is your community college student, and you know, a good teacher can kind of adapt and scale up and down. Okay, so here it is. It's a little bit of a mess right now. I will say after Labor Day we don't do daily lesson plans, but during the school year we do. We have 7 features a day, including a word of the day, a daily news quiz, a sort of test prep question, something we call 6 cues about the news, which is who, what, where, when, why, and how, off something either important that kids should know or something engaging that the Times has posted that we think kids would be interested in. I'm not going to show you everything, and I didn't even realize I was speaking, or I would have PowerPointed this so I could click around. So Mike and I are going to try to work together on this. But Mike, if you go down a little bit, thank you. One thing I want to tell you is this thing, the student opinion question. We became a blog in 2009. We started in 1998, and I should tell you the backstory. The Times decided to invest in it because they did a survey of loyal Times readers and asked them, why have you been reading the Times all your life? And there were 2 answers, and they were, if you think about it, the obvious answers. One, my parents read it at breakfast every morning. But very close to that was my teacher introduced me to it. So they thought, let's start something that actually gives teachers lesson plans. When we became a blog, we had the opportunity to go far beyond that, and all of a sudden we were open to the universe, and anyone can comment, and you know, we have a whole different relationship to our audience now. So we ask a question every day off something in the paper, and we get about 3,000 kids from all over the world at all levels. You have to be 13 or over to, you know, to post for privacy reasons, but we basically say 13 to 25. They come on, they answer the question, they get into conversations on the blog. We read every one of those comments. So when kids say, you suck, whoever, you know, we take that out, we don't allow it. That's against Times commenting policy. So it's a pretty, high school teachers like to know that it's a pretty safe space. It's not about the opinion, but they have to use, you know, reasonable language. So we ask every kind of thing, you know, should marijuana be legalized? We asked last week, and boy, did we get a lot of opinions. Yes is the bottom line, if you want to know what the students of America think. You know, do violent video games cause violence? What do you think about standardized testing? Like all kinds of stuff that students have a stake in, but that's also in the news. But we also ask, I mean, it's after Labor Day now, and honestly, you know, who's on the blog? Not so many people. So sometimes we get a little whimsical, like today we asked them off a Times story if they were interested in tabloid gossip. And you know, we'll get a lot of kids that think that's a fun question to answer. So that's something we do every day. In the summer, rather than doing that, if any of you have access or teach 13 to 19-year-olds, if you, again, scroll up, Mike, and I'm going to ask you to click on this in the C column right there, the summer reading contest that I showed you. Okay. Every single week, all summer long, we invite anyone 13 to 19 to write in and tell us anything that interested them in the Times that week. And actually, we say anything in 2013 is fine. Could be a photo, video, podcast, infographic, article, opinion piece, essay, whatever. It's not what they pick. It doesn't all have to be about Syria or immigration or whatever. It's what they say about it, and they write little mini essays. About, I think, 350 words is our limit this year. And we have a great lineup of judges, like everybody from Random House Kids to the National Writing Project to Common Sense Media, each adopting a week of the contest and choosing winners, and then we publish the winner. So we don't do a lot in the summer, but it's one, you know, with the Common Core focus on nonfiction reading, a lot of classrooms have signed up for this, and you know, we love it. We love reading what kids have to say. The one thing I wanted to tell Well, again, if you can go back, Mike, I guess, to that, yeah, and scroll down again. We do, as you see, daily lesson plans. I'm not going to have you click on that because we'll go on forever. But speaking to breaking news, easily within 24 hours, if not within an hour of an important story, we have something on the site, because that's what people expect from us. So Newtown, or the tsunami, or Trayvon Martin, or the Boston bombing, or Sandy, or whatever it is, we pretty much are in our nightgowns in our houses, typing up something to put up on the site quickly, and then we add to it. Just so people have, often we just provide a place for kids to come on and comment, but we very quickly try to get a lesson plan up for teachers to take on that issue. So for instance, the Bangladesh thing recently, we just did a very elaborate lesson. And at any point in these lessons, by the way, you can kind of go off on your own. We don't expect anybody teaches it from the do now through the going further in our terminology. We expect you to kind of read it and say, oh, I like this opening, but I would never do this, but maybe I'll choose this article. Maybe these questions are good, but this isn't right for my class. So, we have a huge thing on immigration right now because of all the legislation this summer. I'm trying to think of some we've done in the past. We also have started taking viral videos that we know kids know about anyway and back relating them to the New York Times, because you can relate anything to the New York Times. It's been publishing since 1851, so we often just go back and pull out cool stuff from the archives and make that free to schools and classes. So for instance, that astronaut that was singing in space, do you guys know who I'm talking about? So we were like, great, simple lesson. Let's take that video and then go back and talk about kind of where space exploration is right now, and give a few fun things kids could do with like their own little campaigns to teach a science concept or whatever it is. So yes, we do that all summer. I mean, we do that all school year and stop in the summer. The last thing I want to show you, what time do I have? Okay, if you, again, I didn't show you this, Mike, but if you look down, it'll say ideas from our readers in that, go up a little bit, sorry. In that long list, how to use the blog, et cetera, et cetera. See ideas from our readers? Yes. Okay, a few years ago we started this. Anyone who teaches with the Times, and of course that's all of you guys, we'd love to hear from you. And we have everybody from like coaches who use something in the sports section to, like people who do after school programs to college professors. We basically just want to, you can scroll down a little bit. We basically just want to put up as many and varied ideas as we can for things you could do with the paper. And we make it pretty. We link to beautiful Times photojournalism where appropriate, and we just give you credit. So I mean, you could, let's see, why don't you click on that one just so you can see what it looks like. It's a very simple thing. You fill out a form, or I'll have my email. You can just write to me if you're interested in this. We basically say who the teacher is, what the institution, grade level, their idea, why we chose it, because we get a lot of these and we don't pick them all. And then what you did and why in your own words, which everything that's ever published on our site goes through Times copy editing, so it's, somebody looks at it from that regard, but it's not, we don't change much of what you said. And sometimes it's a very simple and short idea, and teachers appreciate that, and other times it's a pretty elaborate. I can't actually remember this one because we do so many, but you can see that this used Steve Jobs to do, that famous personal credo of his. I should have said from the get-go, the only rule of our blog, everything has to relate to the Times in a meaningful way. But that's so easy. So this Steve Jobs thing, there's a whole Times topics page on Steve Jobs that's thousands of pages long. So, we were able to put in quite a bit. I don't know how Mitt Romney's high school bullying worked in there, but I guess it did. There was a whole bunch of, we could link it to tons of resources that we've got on our blog and in the Times at large. All right, this 118 thing is intimidating. I feel like I'm only here today, but I feel like you guys are such fantastic contacts for me that I don't know you. I'm connected to high school world more than college world. So please, I'll give you all my card, or my email's on the site. It's just my last name at nytimes.com, and that is SCHULTEN@nytimes.com. If you have any ideas for the blog, in the summer we essentially throw up in the air everything we do, look at our Google Analytics and say, what can we do better next year based on, the new Common Core or some ideas we got at the News Literacy Conference or whatever. We just want to keep it fresh. So let me know if there's stuff specifically for your students that you think we could be doing better. Like, I'm already going to steal, Charlotte is your name? I'm already stealing half of that, and forget it. That Boston bombing thing that you made, how is that not in our Boston bombing resources? Like, I'll go back and put it in. We just want to have good stuff up for teachers. So there you have it. I know I talked really fast. Bye.